Can't you just wrap this up already? How many more chapters do we have to until we bite the nails off when things seems obvious while at the same time they're not? All I demanded was Izan having an extremely humiliating defeat. How many more chapters do I have to wait until that is happening? Okay, that's my first complaint. Now to the chapter of Shokugeki no Soma 146. As my complaining normally tells, this is not the chapter that tells us the winner. However, it did at least finally take Soma's tasting from Izan and two of the other critics. The other critic who criticized Soma for having pork in his filling hasn't tasted it yet, and Soma's food is indeed delicious enough to make them strip. But we all know, well, we didn't see Izan's reaction. All he did, I think he was trying to suppress his reaction because when we saw his face his face was red. Was he blushing? Was it so delicious that he was blushing? Or was it so delicious he was angry and tried to suppress his happiness? Either way, in this chapter, Soma begins the final preparation for that, utilizing more like water to pour into the gyoza. And the Shokugeki master reveals that to grill gyoza and you add water into it, it will also steam the escalope from the inside, and will not stick them too much together, seeing that Soma increases that. He then pours parmesan, is that his secret weapon, onto it. But it's then the Shokugeki master realizes what it is. He calls it Hanetsuki Gyoza. Apparently, gyoza is a food that you make using flour dissolved in water. But Soma is using parmesan instead. And that's basically the true form of this gyoza. And the food critic who did not taste, saying it's disgraceful, it's B-class Idai. You know, man, you're really bad at your job. If there's one thing Soma is good at, he can make masterpieces out of even the cheapest looking food. That's what we know about Soma's character. I mean, his dishes are not, well, maybe they are flashy, but in a way, how he makes them are not flashy at all. So much unlike Izan's flashiness. This looks like a complete boring everyday food, except the taste is not. That's Soma's looking food. And so, even though this critic believes that by using cheese it will only further ruin the taste, the chicken soup, bone soup that Soma has cooked hasn't been done yet. As the food critic demands to know what Soma just doesn't surrender, Soma finally says just shh. You know, I was waiting for it. I was waiting for him to say that. Shh. Yeah, food critics, just shh. But Soma does some ninja pose where he listens to the popping or the slurry popping of the gyoza. And so, when that is finally done, he then adds the soup in a mixture with the potato starch and bone soup and pours it on the gyoza, and so it's served. Izan is the first to eat, and as I said in the before, he eats it, but we doesn't get a reaction. Well, we do get a reaction, but it's more like he's trying to suppress his reaction. That's what we get. The only thing we do see of him is his shaking hand and his face, who is literally red. Is it red of anger and deliciousness, or is it red in blushing, as I said before? Either way, he gives it, and here's another thing that Soma did some... I have an argument with another person before that's saying that Soma may be a bigger mastermind than Izan, but I was dismissed, saying Soma is not a mastermind like Izan. And I know, Soma is a lot of feeling the flow, Izan is strategic. But here he once again says something that turns this battle around. He watches Izan's reaction and says that, could you think that my gyoza is actually delicious? The judges react to that. And when they deny that, Soma just completely says, well, wanted to be faster just to give them a try. The food critic who protests refuses, but the other begins to submit, and they taste, and their foods and their clothes get stripped off. In bafflement, wonders how a sloppy method of cooking could become such delicious. And Soma reveals it's the ankake, where he added the soup, shoyu, sake, vinegar, sugar, sesame oil, and a secret ingredient. What that secret ingredient will be, well, we will figure out next week. So, Izan has now tasted his cooking, and he knew it was tasty. So Soma now demands from him, what dish is more delicious? This Shokugeki is full of ups and downs. I mean, I wish they just could wrap this up already, but I know I have said this in the last 5 chapters, but next week, I have a feeling next week will finally, at least will be this Shogeki's mission complete. I mean, there's some parts that we still want to see. For example, are we gonna watch the Polo Star guys defend, or are we just gonna be, once Isan loses, he's gonna say, I still win, and then he gets a call from the other saying, we failed? Are we gonna get that incident, or are we not? Are we gonna get a flashback? I don't know. I mean, I like the Polo Star gang. They're very interesting. Megumi is my favorite character because she's so adorable and so amazing. But what is gonna happen now? Is this gonna clear up this Shokugeki? Because now it heads towards the climax. As I said before, the only 2 who have not tasted yet is that other arrogant food critic and Rindo. And I have a feeling, as I said before, if she strips, then we know someone will win. So is that what they are saving us from? Are we waiting for that shifter to judge? And the final one to taste will be Rindo. We will see her strip off. And that will tell us immediately that Soma has won. Just after that, the judges will vote for Soma. Is that what's gonna happen? That's all I can guess is happening. Because now, Soma still says he has a secret ingredient. What is that secret ingredient? Knowing Soma, it's probably something very basic. I mean, he used basic ingredients even when he made his bento, when he just went to the farm. Was it the pharmacy or was it the candy store to do that? He did the same when he did that fish. Instead of finding extremely pure one and curing, he went to some more experimenting and added another deep flavor into it by mixturing another, well, I wouldn't say soup, but you know what I mean. So Soma tend to not take the expensive way. No, he takes an extremely cheap, I don't say cheap as in this is so cheap, but in a very not so expensive in money way of doing things. And he brings that thing out to his potential. Is that just what happened? Well, that's just what happened, I think. So alas, if there's anything to discuss, give me your thoughts if you have any.